Greetings and welcome to a border war tonight. We continue along in the Great Lakes region where Indiana and Michigan will square off this evening. Both trying to stay alive in the Great Lakes region and make it on to Thursday's competition. As always, a beautiful night for anyone in attendance. And tonight we anticipate a huge crowd. In the Great Lakes region, two teams are undefeated and they're moving on to play tomorrow. Meantime, it's a fight right now between Michigan and Indiana. Join Kentucky on Thursday in that semifinal matchup. Hi everybody, Jim Barber, John Gregory. We played with the Dodgers baseball organization a few years back. Well, if you're Indiana, you just had a splendid state tournament. And then you come into the regional and you say, where did our bats go?
Yeah, you go from scoring 100 runs to not putting any on the board. But for Jason Toller and this team, he said maybe the stage was a little bit big. They had a lot of competition on the Kentucky side, back and forth with the fans. A really good atmosphere. Maybe they're calmed down a little bit right now and they feel better about the game today. Yeah,
speak of 100 runs, 33 of those were home runs. And they won a state championship tournament game by a score of 26-21. They're not anticipating those type of numbers tonight, but they just like to get more than they have so far.
Yeah, exactly. And they're going to face on the other side, they're going to face Jack Jones, a pitcher from this team from Michigan that is really, the guy that's kind of sets the table and sets the tone for this team, whether he does it at the plate or on the mound. He's truly a leader of the team, a twin. His brother's going to be catching, so an interesting matchup tonight with pitcher and catcher. They know each other very well, obviously. 2 for 3, a double, and an RBI for him, and they're emotional leaders for this team.
It's a great story. In fact, the manager says, I cannot tell them apart. Well, we'll try to distinguish between the two as Indiana and Michigan meet to try to save their season. Next from ESPN. All right, John, you mentioned it, so we got to show it. Identical twins playing pitch and catch tonight from Michigan. Their skipper says, I can't tell the difference. Well, maybe somebody at home can. Ryan catches, Jack pitches. They're referred to at home as the Twin Towers. They're big kids for ages 12, very humble, very likable, and very hard to differentiate between the two.
Yeah, you see them, great size, good-looking kids, and really good athletes. Really control their bodies at this particular age, and we're going to see a nice combination. Jack Jones on the mound has not lost all season long, and 68 to 71 mile an hour with a slider, so he's going to face this tough lineup here for Indiana.
Casey Kalen leading off, then Philip Gill and Grant Borgen. Davis Krebs is the cleanup hitter. Tommy Devine pitches and bats fifth, then Landon Teesing, Bishop Letson, Brantley Whitlock, Nathan Julius. It'll be a festive crowd tonight because Indiana's in the house. Good to have you with us. First pitch coming at 7:04 Eastern time from one of the Twin Towers. Not surprisingly, both kids, both Joneses, are three-sport players: baseball, football, and basketball. 1-1. Believe it or not, John, Ryan, who is catching, used to wear red shoes in order for people to tell them apart. Not anymore, though. 2-1.
Both behind the plate and on the mound. Black shoes. It's like the entire team out there unified with one color.
Jason Hill, who's the manager, says really to tell the difference between them, typically when they would come to practice, their jerseys would be the difference for him. One initial R, the other J, and that's a base hit on a 2-2 pitch to start the game for Indiana by Casey Kalen.
Well, Kalen says, I don't care about Twin Towers and twins and all that stuff. Give me a fastball I can turn on and hit between second and third, and a good start for Indiana. That's what they need, a good quick start. As you can see the base hit there. Getting guys on early will be good confidence builder for an Indiana team that's used to scoring a lot of runs, that weren't able to do it against a Kentucky team that pitched a very good game against them.
Indiana now has matched its hit total from the other night against Kentucky. This is Philip Gill, the center fielder, heads one towards center field. Dropping in, base hit. Indiana with back-to-back singles to start the game. Well, if Indiana was nervous the other night, not the case so far tonight.
Really good start for them. As I said, these guys are the table setters at the top part of this lineup. When they get on, the reason why they scored 100 runs is because these leadoff guys get on and the big guys behind them are driving them in with home runs. As you had mentioned, 33 home runs. Big, huge numbers for New Albany Little League.
This is Grant Borden, strike one. And Jack Jones ahead on the count, 0-2. Davis Krebs, the third baseman, would bat next. Second baseman. One out. 3 pitches, 1 gone. Here's Krebs.
You get the feeling, Jim, in this ball game that you got guys on the mound that are going to throw strikes and aggressive players at the plate. We're going to see a lot of action defensively. Jack Jones with the breaking ball there for the strikeout and the first out. Now a possibility for double play and maybe get out of this inning.
Krebs was hit by a pitch, retired by the pitcher to first, and involved in a fielder's choice on Sunday night, 0-2. Kalen at second, Gill at first. And Jones jumps on this hitter, 0-2.
Bottom of your screen, right-hand side, you can see the speed. 73 miles an hour. That pitch was that fastball. That's equivalent to a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the major league. So keep an eye on that.
Struck him out. And a throw out. Good news for Indiana on the play. Both runners advance. So it's second and third now with 2 outs.
98 equivalent on that fastball there. 75 miles an hour for Jones. That's as much as we've seen in this entire tournament.
He's
Feels
amped up, isn't he?
pumped up right now, exactly.
Yeah. Tommy Devine with a chance to help his own cause, and because the runners are not allowed to advance on a drop third, they must return. So it's first and second with 2 outs. Kalen back at second, Gill at first. That's how the inning was staged with 2 on and nobody out. Now back-to-back strikeouts, and Devine is behind the strike. Arsenault, Randazzo, Green, and Aralt third to first. Harris, Hill, Wisniewski is the outfield. And it's pitch and catch with the identical twin brothers. After allowing back-to-back hits, Jack Jones strikes out the side. Nothing for Indiana in the top of the first. Michigan gets its opportunity after the break. Michigan pitcher Jack Jones struck out 3 batters on 9 pitches after yielding back-to-back hits to start the game. Let's see if Tommy Devine for Indiana has an answer. He's on the mound. And as you might imagine, his skipper, Jason Toller, has a lot of good things to say about the way he moves the baseball up there.
And one of the things he says is he's got great mix at 5'11", 155 pounds, a really good fastball. He mixes in that changeup. He's got a very good curveball too, but he says he needs to be down in the strike zone. When he's on, he's overpowering. When he's off a little bit, he's got to hit his spots. If he misses them and misses in the wrong spot, Michigan can turn it around in a hurry on you. So you got to be spotty if you're not on, and looks like he's throwing the ball pretty hard right now. Why not be pumped up? We're seeing that from both pitchers on both sides early in this game.
Drew Hill will lead off for Michigan, John, in the center field spot. Matthew Green bats second. Then Jody Randazzo, Joseph Wisniewski, and Jack Jones. The twin brother of Jack Ryan follows him. Then Adam Aralt, Jordan Arsenault, Tommy Harris. Michigan in its loss to Ohio in its opening round game 10-2 collected just 3 hits in innings 2, 4, and 6. Drew Hill, left-handed swinger, was 0 for 2 in that game. He'll try to set the table for Michigan. The winner gets Kentucky, and could there be a rematch between Indiana and Kentucky on Thursday? Kentucky won its game earlier this morning. Devine works from the stretch. Kalen, Borden, Krebs, and Teasing. The infield third to first. This one bounced toward the right side of the diamond, and Krebs one out. Julius Gill and Whitlock in the outfield. Devine and Letson, our pitcher and catcher, and we have an injury at first base. Landon Teasing is down for Indiana. I wonder at that point if there's some cramping or.
No, what happened is that as Drew Hill was running down the first base line, he either stepped on Teasing, the first baseman. Sometimes it happens, but watch as he's heading down the first base line. Let's see.
Yep.
It happens. Play the position long enough, you're going to get stepped on down there regardless of where your foot is. He's hustling down the line. No ill intent there. It's just something that happens in the game of baseball.
And there's one out. Matthew Green, the second baseman, stepping in. Green 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts in the opening game against Ohio. We will see Ohio tomorrow in the winner's bracket.
A well-rested Ohio team.
Yes, facing Illinois. Wonder if their bats have cooled off. What, 32 runs in 2 games, right. Just 7 innings of offensive production.
It's almost like you don't want to have a day off when you're that productive.
No, sir. Fastball misses outside at 70 miles an hour from Tommy Devine. Ball and 2 strikes with a man out and no score in the first. And as was the case Sunday night when Indiana was here against Kentucky, just about every seat, or pretty close to it, is filled. And they are standing and sitting in the left field and right field sections outside the fence. 2 outs.
Can't tell you the number of people I've talked to outside in between ball games that really have no representation anywhere. They're just locals that like to come out here and watch baseball.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. They were at the old facility. There's plenty here today. They say they even go on to the Little League World Series and watch it there. And why not? This is really, really entertaining baseball.
Joey Randazzo, the shortstop, is batting now in the 3rd spot. For manager Jason Hill. Hill coaches at 3rd. Mark Arsenault. First base coach Andy Arold is on the bench. Two balls and no strikes with 2 outs in the first. Right now, the entire diamond is in sunshine. That will begin to change as we head toward sunset in the neighborhood of about 8:45 Eastern time. Toward third base, Kalen. Right through his legs. Michigan has a base runner with 2 outs.
Randazzo has plenty of speed going down the first base line. In that case, it'll cause an infielder some time to look up. And Kalen, the last minute here, watch him peek up. And when he does that, most of the time the ball scoot underneath the glove. And now you've got a quick base runner down at the first base bag.
Randazzo reaching on an error. Joseph Wisniewski, the right fielder and cleanup hitter, is next. Reached base on an error and on a walk in the game against Ohio and scored twice. Left-handed swinger that probably has the best sweet stroke of anybody on this team. And, of course, he can hit for power.
I like this kid. I just like to look at him at the plate. I think he's just looks like a baseball player to me.
Headed to right field. Michigan has them on the corners with 2 outs. Randazzo scooting all the way to third. Here comes half of the Twin Towers, Jack Jones.
Looking at Wisniewski down that first base bag, to me, he's looks like a very good baseball player, but he's put together like he could be either that fullback type guy or linebacker. He just has that mentality.
Here's the pitcher, Jack Jones. 2 for 3 in the opening round game. Had a double and an RBI. RBI situation here with 2 outs in the last of the first. Indiana threatened getting 2 aboard with nobody out and failed to score. Well, not too far here from here, Larry Bird grew up. French Lick, Indiana. That's Jack Jones' favorite athlete. Bird president of the Pacers for a time being, for a while, and also was head coach. Led him to the NBA Finals for the first and only time. Good stop there. Count moves to 2 balls and a strike. Jones toward right field. And foul. Jones in the state tournament hit 500 in the regular season. He was over 700. And Ryan, who's up next, he wasn't too shabby in the state tournament either. He was 455. What one brother can do, the other can do better. Strike call, inning over. Big strikeout by Tommy Devine. Michigan, like Indiana, leads 2. And after 1, Indiana nothing, Michigan nothing. Bottom of the order for Indiana in the second. Jason Toller headed to his third base spot. His New Albany Little League team making the 3rd appearance for that Little League in the last 4 years, 2014 and 15. Missed in 2016 and back again this year. Landon Teasing, Bishop Letson, Brantley Whitlock, 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Coach Toller in the top of the second. Jack Jones and Ryan Jones, the identical twins, the battery from Michigan. Strike 1.
This Indiana team and New Albany specifically know how to get it done. 9 guys on this team have played together since they were 7 years old. 3-time state champions, 9, 10, and 11-year-olds. So wouldn't surprise me one bit to see them in a finals again, trying to make their way to the Little League World Series.
Jack Jones has now thrown 11 consecutive strikes. Make it 12. He gave up back-to-back hits, John, then 4 consecutive strikeouts. It looked like he took those 2 hits personally.
Well, I like how the team surrounds you at a good-looking breaking ball there. You throw a strikeout now, your entire infield comes in, gives you a little tap. It's almost like making a free throw.
Yeah. This is the catcher, Bishop Letson. Got a base hit in the 5th inning of the game against Kentucky in a pinch hit role. I think if you had to put together all the numbers for the pinch hitters in this tournament, I think the average would be strong.
Well, we had a game before this where Iowa had 2 guys that got hits, only 2 hits in the ball game, and they were both substitute players in game 1. One of them got the start in game 2. Had another hit in that ball game.
The catcher lets on a ball and 2 strikes. Stays alive, fouling it off to the right. Tomorrow it's winners bracket action in the Midwest and Great Lakes. Following day, 2 elimination games in the same regions. And then on to some big games the following days. For Jack Jones, 5 consecutive strikeouts.
Fastball, breaking ball, both, all great location on it. Jack Jones in command right now out on the mound.
24 pitches to this point. Brantley Whitlock, the right fielder. Little nibbler towards second base. 3 up and 3 down for Indiana in the second. Bottom of the order for Michigan, starting with Ryan Jones. It's 0-0 Indiana and Michigan here on ESPN. Grosse Pointe, Michigan, just about 20 minutes outside Detroit. This team, the only Michigan team to reach the Little League World Series in the current format back in 2013. Georgetown National Little League and Jenison, Michigan, back in 1998. Ryan Jones, Adam Aralt, Jordan Arsenault, bottom of the second for Michigan. Tommy Devine got 2 out on strikeouts and got out of a first and second jam in the first inning. The coach's nickname for Ryan is The Rock. Well, you're right. Every catcher's got himself a pretty serious nameplate. Out on strikes. 1 out.
The success you mentioned with this Michigan team, that area of Michigan, they combined in the state tournament in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and championship. They outscored opponents 38-1. Championship game, they beat Dexter 10-0, Kingsford 17-0 in the semifinal. In the quarterfinal round, they beat Taylor North Shore 11-1.
Arald back to the pitcher. Devine fumbles it, throws, safe. Hustling down the first base line, Adam Arald becomes a Michigan base runner in the second.
So many times you'll see a kid give up, or somebody will give up, because you bunt it, try to bunt for a base hit, you hit it right back to the pitcher, and you think, well, that's it for me. But he hustled down the line, and because of that, Devine a little bit of a bobble, and he beats it out. Good hustle out of the box.
Johnny will give Arald credit for a bunt single. Jordan Arsenault for 3 and a run batted in. And Michigan's lost to Ohio 10-2. Good pitch there, 0-2. Jason Toller, manager of Indiana, says not only did he think his team was a bit nervous, but he didn't have anybody else to help settle his group down because there weren't any 11-year-olds in position for the previous year to help out. Arsenault gone.
So true. Even if you have a guy that's an 11-year-old, doesn't get to play that much, just the experience of being here to be able to talk to the other players back at the hotel as you see another strikeout. Both of these pitchers dealing out there on the mound now, but having that one veteran presence in that dugout or back at the hotel makes a big difference. Players understand what's next, where we're going, what are we going to do. Little things matter.
Of course, manager Toller also added it may have had something to do with the fact that Ty Bryant was pitching the other night.
Yes, credit where credit's due.
Another bunt, bunting for a hit, foul. Well, it worked for Aralt. Why not for Harris? He'll have to come back, though, with a count 0-2. The presence of small ball. Michigan giving the impression that it's going to be a low-scoring game and runs will be pretty significant.
Well, that's a lot, having confidence in the guy that you have on the mound that he can shut the other team down.
Wild pitch, runner headed to second. And sliding in is Aver. So for the second straight inning, Michigan with a man in scoring position and 2 outs. Tommy Devine with a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Inning over. Harris out on strikes. 5 of 6 potential outs by way of strikeouts for Tommy Devine. Indiana nothing, Michigan nothing. We go to the third. The Little League Grow the Game Grant Initiative has distributed over $2 million at the local level. Grant funding provides local Little Leagues resources for general improvement and to expand or establish softball Challenger Division and Urban Initiative programs. For more information, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. Jim Barber, John Gregory, on to the third inning.
Well, that was a good look of the support this Indiana baseball team has here. A bunch of sisters and friends and everybody else supporting these young men out here.
Nathan Julius at the plate appreciates that support. Only plate appearance in this tournament, he walked.
Looks like a bunch of cheerleaders. They've got it together. They're in rhythm too.
Great part of the game, huh? Front row seats too.
There's
2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's some of that support.
Another strikeout for Jack Jones. That's 6. How good has this guy been tonight?
Yeah, pretty darn good. And that breaking ball's been better than pretty good. It's been excellent.
Back to the top of the order. Casey Kalin and Phillip Gill started the game with back-to-back hits. So they had drawn a beat on Jones, but both of them were stranded at first and second base as the following 3 struck out. Jones working fast right up the middle. Throw to first, safe. Kalin hustling down the line. Would have been pitcher, shortstop to first base had that worked out. And they're going to score that, a base hit.
Great shot of him hustling out of the box. Never looked to the field at all. He put his head down, was digging down the first base line, and was rewarded at the end of that reaching first base bag.
There's a bunt. It's a beauty. Base hit for Phillip Gill. Same combination that worked in the first. Has base hits here in the third. Good time for a bunt too, but the defense back in double play depth.
Going to get a quick visit by Jason Hill out to the mound to talk with his pitcher. And I think it's less to talk about the pitcher and what he's doing versus just getting the group together, letting the infield know, kind of slow things down a bit. This is almost like a timeout.
In this game, each team has laid down a bunt effectively for a hit.
Gary ran through the bag that time, never slowed down.
Grant Borden struck out last time. New Albany's top 2 hitters, 4 for 4 in the game. Rest of the lineup 0 for 7. Another chance for New Albany Little League. Jones comes right back with back-to-back strikes. 0-2 pitch. And Borden hanging around. I don't know how many scoring opportunities you're going to get in this game. So Indiana must find a way to plate at least one run here. Headed to left field. Base hit. Let's see if they send the runner. They will not. They'll be loaded. So now 3 hits in a row as Borden comes through. Casey Kalin now at third. Philip Gill at second. And Grant Borden at first.
Big hit for Borden. What an effort by Randazzo, the shortstop. Joey making a dive to try to knock that ball down, knowing how important just one run is. If you're a middle infielder, watch this effort for Randazzo at the shortstop position, trying to knock it down, not letting it get to the outfield. You could possibly save a run there as he extends out.
Here's Davis Krebs with a chance. Showing bunt, popped it up. Strike one. What do you think about that strategy there?
I think right now they know how good the pitcher is on the other side of the field. They're going to try to create a run. I love it. It's putting pressure on the defense. It's moving guys around. It's just like having aggressive guys on the base pass. Just pressure the defense anytime you can.
Krebs digging in. Ball gets away. A runner going to try to score. Here's the play at the plate. Hey! Indiana takes a 1-0 lead. And the runners advance to second and third.
You have got to be ready if you're going to try to take home when they get a ball behind this. That backstop, all day long we've seen balls come off of that pad, and you can see the catcher this time, Ryan Jones, get it, try to beat the runner to the plate, not able to do it. And Indiana picks up a very important first run in the game.
So on the wild pitch by Jack Jones, Casey Kalin, who has terrific speed, races home. Ground ball shortstop. Trying to get him out at home plate, and he is out. Although Gill thought he slid in underneath the tag. And his play likely will be challenged. And Jason Toller coming over to talk with home plate umpire Hans Lodge says, we need replay.
Now Gill's reaction is the runner. He thought that he slid underneath the tag. I don't necessarily agree with him as we were looking right down on it, but we'll get a quick review. The good thing about these reviews that we've seen, and we've seen many reviews, is that they're done pretty quickly. We'll know right away.
And in the background, they play the theme music to Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Final Jeopardy, by the way, in which the clock is ticking for the contestants weigh in with their final answer. Let's see if we can tell from this angle. I think he beat it.
Wow. Tough to see where the tag was actually applied. This will give us a good angle of where the tag was applied. Well, blocked by the runner there too. Ryan Jones, from a catching standpoint, had really the plate blocked, but it looked like Gill's foot came to the first base side of home plate and may have gotten in there beforehand.
Well, this is big.
What I thought was going to be an easy call, after reviewing that replay, I can understand why it's taken a little longer.
If it gets reversed, Indiana will lead 2-0. Jason Toller is heading back to his third base coaching position. And this is taking a while. Scoreless game in the third. Indiana on a wild pitch led 1-0. And then on the infield grounder on a throw from short to home, calling home play was out. Now we'll see if it's upheld. Two 2-0 Indiana. And runners at first and third. As Krebs reaches on a fielder's choice.
Philip Gill, I don't know if he did this intentionally. If he did, it's pretty good. But watch how this plate is blocked, but his foot slides to the first base side of home plate and sneaks by Jones, the catcher, and the tag placed a little bit too high up around the thigh as that foot gets in there.
John still just one out here in the third. In fact, the last 4 batters have reached for Indiana. Michigan will play a double play depth to try to end the inning. Jack Jones in the first and in the second looked overpowering. Here in the third, after beginning the inning with a strikeout, Indiana has got to him. Tommy Devine, a strikeout victim with 2 aboard in the first. So for 4 in the regional. Trying to get Indiana to Thursday. Twin Towers combination of Jack and Ryan Jones from Michigan. Landon Teasing, the first baseman, on deck. Big inning so far for New Albany. The pitch. Runner headed down to second base, uncontested. And the count now runs full. Indiana looking at the potential of a huge inning here. Important 3-2 pitch.
Jay Teasing down that first base line. He didn't know which direction to go. Didn't want to be in the way. Ball was clearly foul, but he didn't want to put a hand on it.
He can still move, though.
Yeah, certainly can.
And we'll do the 3-2 again. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Indiana with a 2-0 jump here in the third inning. Board at third, Krebs running at second. The pitch. Strike 3 call for Jack Jones. That is strikeout number 7.
Boy, huge strikeout that time for Jack Jones, and the location was perfect. His brother sets up on the outside corner.
Will Flom, number 1, throwing in the Michigan bullpen. Here's an opportunity for Landon Teasing, 0 for 3 in the regional. Runner still in scoring position. To second base. Could have been worse for Michigan. Indiana gets 2. And going down the first base line, Teasing looks like he's hurt. 2-0 Indiana, mid-third. Back to action here in Indiana. Landon Teasing went down the first base line moments ago and appeared to have been shaken up. But he's okay now. And so Indiana will be at normal depth, and Michigan will start the third with the top of the order in Drew Hill. Devine's pitch popped up and out of play. Jim Barber with John Gregory. This is an elimination game. The winner advances to Thursday to face Kentucky. The loser is done. We've already had today, John, 3 good elimination games.
Certainly have. You were talking about Landon Teasing, the first baseman, that right thumb. He got jammed at that at bat, and he's still wiggling that finger down there, but it's taped up now. I don't think it was that way before.
Hill with a fly ball towards center field. No problem for Phillip Gill, 1 out. It's been a rough game for Landon so far, hasn't it?
It has. Here's a look at that right hand as he gets back to the bag. Boy, sometimes you get that thing jammed and you're at the bat, and it seems like every time you're sore in that area, as you can see him messing around with that thumb, you get the inside pitch, and guess what? It's right off the handle.
Matthew Green on a bounce towards short. Grant Borden, 2 outs. Joey Randazzo reached on an error with 2 outs of the first to the plate. 1 for 3 in the tournament, a 2-base hit. Checking pitch count right now. I think you heard that. And verifying that it is in fact 34 pitches. Randazzo's favorite team is one that typically is the NCAA baseball tournament. It's been in the College World Series and won it, Vanderbilt. David Price, an alumnus there.
Yeah, I'm going to say a few good pitchers coming out of that place.
Man. Look out.
Ooh. If I'm not mistaken, that Vanderbilt team has a player that maybe played here for that Chicago team a few years back. I'm not sure.
You might be right.
Jason Hill said, I had that, no problem.
Yeah, he's okay. You know, the minors and the majors, now you have to wear helmets because of the fatality with a first base coach several years back.
Hard as some of these kids are hitting it now, you may want to wear one in Little League.
Oh, yeah. Pitch outside to Randazzo, 1-2. If he gets the board, Joseph Wisniewski set to bat.
Jason Hill was backed up out of the third base coaching box. The umpire pointed and said, you got to get back in there.
It's one headed his way this time and doesn't have to get out of the way.
It was third base umpire Prince Lowe said, Jake Ballard said, get back in the box there. Started laughing at him.
Should say, well, I really can't tell where the box is at besides it's not safe. Randazzo the other way to right field, and that's deep, and that's going, and it's gone. Michigan on the board. This kid's an emotional player. We saw that the other night, and he's amped up right now.
He is 100% of the time. The effort that he had on that diving play to try to knock a ball down, and he rips it down the third baseline foul. Then he gets a pitch outside, and as soon as he hit it, do you see him turn around and look toward his dugout? He knew that thing was out of here.
2-1 now. Jason Toller to the Indiana mound. So Michigan drawing blood here in this elimination game. Hans Lodge will head out to the mound to break up the conference. Tommy Devine in 2 2/3, allowing his first run, his third hit, and that will be it for him. Devine is headed now out to center field. So right before Devine approaches 40, he gets the hook. We have seen some terrific pitching in this Little League World Series. Games decided by a run, shutout baseball on both sides, heading into the final inning, which has been the case. How about this group? Landon Teasing, 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, an earned run. Marcus Phillips, brilliant, 12 strikeouts, 6 innings, an earned run. Nyhammer earlier today with 9 strikeouts. Hennis earlier today with 8. And Braden Moore in 5 innings, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. That totals Something like 24 innings with just 3 earned runs. That's an ERA a little above 1.
Boy, those are really good numbers. Jason Hill, the coach of Michigan, before said, "Hey, we got to give the other side some credit. We ran into some pretty good pitching, and we think the pitching's good here." I was telling him, I think over the past 3 years, this is probably the best group of pitching that we've seen throughout, and that's probably why we've had such close games the way we've had them.
Gavin Hamilton is on for Indiana. It's a left-handed thrower. And as we have gear being exchanged, about to get his warm-up tosses in. Philip Gill goes from center field, which now is being occupied by Tommy Devine, to go catch. Bishop Letson, who was catching, is now in left.
Entering the game, number 42, Gavin Hamilton, is the new Indiana pitcher. Number 23, Tommy Devine, leads the mound after throwing 39 pitches with a threshold count of 35. He is now playing center field. Moving from center to catcher, number 34, Philip Gill. And number 7, Bishop Letson, is now playing.
So a little different look right now for Michigan hitters, John, against the lefty. Any adjustments offhand you think they'll need to make?
Hard to say. I think you take the same approach right now. You're 1 run back, and 1 run back. You still got 3.5 to go, or 3 1/3. And match up here, lefty to lefty, right off the bat.
Two-one game, and here's Joseph Wisniewski. He's had a great tournament so far as well, 3 for 3, including a single tonight and a couple of walks. So in 5 plate appearances, he has reached base every time. Lefty versus lefty. Up the middle, base hit. Wisniewski still perfect. Going to try to stretch it in a double. Not a problem. 4th hit in the tournament in 4 official at-bats.
Did I tell you I think I like this kid?
You did say that.
Yeah.
I can see
telling
why.
You, did you see him coming out of the box? He was thinking 2 all the way. This is just a ball hit the center field. Watch him. He never slows down. Out of the box, he's thinking 2 right away on a ball that's really a routine single to center field. And he stands up going into second.
Here comes the Jones gang. Jack Jones first, then Ryan. All the offense after 2 outs. A homer by Randazzo. Base hit by Wisniewski. And in fact, a 2-base hit. Jones is 0 for 4 in the regional, but a base hit can tie the game. Tomorrow, a little later start. 11 Eastern, and then 2 o'clock for regional winter games. We'll see Missouri, South Dakota in game 1, Ohio and Illinois in game 2. On Thursday, Iowa, Nebraska, an elimination game. Kentucky against the winner of this game. Jones out on strikes for the 2nd time today, but Joey Randazzo gives Michigan fans a thrill. And as a result, Grosse Pointe is on the board. After 3, 2-1, Indiana over Michigan. New Albany well represented by fans tonight. It's located 5 miles west of Louisville. and the river. City size 36,400. Fuzzy Zellers from there. He won the 79 Masters Championship. The manager's son will get a chance to lead off. That's Dylan Toller batting for Bishop Letson. As it's the bottom of the Indiana order in the fourth. Back to the pitcher, Jack Jones. One pitch, one out.
Boy, he hit this thing hard back to the mound. One hopper, good reaction by Jones, and hurries his throw over to first base.
Here's Caleb Miller coming to the plate as a pinch hitter. Hitting in the 8th position. Miller came on as a pinch hitter in the 5th of the game against Kentucky and struck out. Well, you notice Jordan Arsenault is sneaking in from his third base spot, knowing full well Indiana has bunted successfully before. And against the hard-throwing Jack Jones, that's not a bad idea in an effort to try it again.
If it does anything, that's what it does. It moves the infield around a bit and may give you a chance to sneak one through.
Instead, this is headed in the gap, and it's gone. Ball kept carrying. A pinch hit home run for Caleb Miller. Indiana back up by 2. Touch them all, son.
Easy, fellas. Miller's glasses. They were batting the helmet all over the place. He couldn't get his glasses straight to get back to the dugout as he lines one out to right center field. Pinch hit, another pinch hitter, another home run, another base hit or knock or whatever it is. Guys coming off the bench and watching, they're hitting his helmet, and he's trying to adjust it to find his way back to the dugout. I love it.
Indiana erasing now the Randazzo home run with a home run of its own. It's back to a 2-run advantage, 3-1 in the 4th. And New Albany, Little League just about to change the lineup over, turned it over to the top. Their makes coach is Jason Toller. In his other life, he is a principal at Corydon Junior High. Actually went back there after the Sunday night loss to go ahead and take care of kids who are back in school. So we had to pose the question to him, what happens if you win tonight instead of losing? He said, well, I have to give that some thought. I think his heart's going to be here.
Oh, yeah, and it should be. I mean, he's with this group of kids here and has been for a long time, want to win this championship, and he deserves to be here with them if that's the case. He said he really didn't even look at it. Doesn't know what time they play tomorrow, if in fact they do get the victory today.
Yeah, in fact, they'll actually play on Thursday, so they'll have a benefit of a day off. And a decision to be made whether to go back home or be here. Casey Kalin and Philip Gill have been tough for Michigan's Jack Jones. 1 and 2 hitters are combined 4 for 4 with 2 runs scored. Major League Baseball equivalent, fastball 92. Jones gets the ball ready to go to work as he plays with the mound. In the Michigan 4th, Ryan Jones, Adam Aralt, Jordan Arsenault are scheduled to bat. 6, 7, and 8. To third base and into left field. And for the 3rd time tonight, Casey Kalin is aboard. Just can't keep this guy off the bases.
Oh, he's finding a way on here. That ball looked like it hit the cut of the grass at the very end and stayed down. Didn't get the hop up in the air for Arsenault down at third base.
Error on the third baseman. On Arsenault, so it's a runner at first with 2 outs. And what a difference a game makes. Indiana the other night against Kentucky with its top 3 hitters 0 for 7. Tonight 5 for 7 and 2 runs scored. Two strikes, 2 outs. Philip Gill is 2 for 5 in the regional. Wild pitch. Kalen in the second base in the scoring position yet again. Seems like he's been there all night. Two strikeouts in the inning for Jack Jones. Now 9, but pinch hitter Caleb Miller makes the manager look pretty good. Off the bench with a blast over the right center field wall. Indiana leading Michigan 3-1. John, how about a room with a view, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
Gorgeous.
Not bad at all.
Sun will be setting here in another 40 minutes or so. Off the bench, Tommy Scheck will hit for Indiana. Or rather, will hit for Michigan here in the bottom of the 4th. Tommy Devine continuing his efforts until he was replaced by Gavin Hamilton. That back in the 3rd inning. The winner takes on Kentucky, which won a thriller today over Wisconsin with a 5-run 6th inning. Count 2-1. And the winner of this game would come back on Thursday at 5 o'clock in the evening. Iowa already set to play Nebraska earlier in the day at 1.
It's got to be a bit warm, huh?
Yeah.
With the helmet on and ski mask, look like.
So the count runs full on Scheck. Michigan trying to get somebody aboard here in the 4th. Sun going underneath the clouds for the moment, cooling off the stadium just a bit. And again, the 3-2. Tough play at third base. And that should be a base hit. Gavin Hamilton tried to field it, but that's a hard play for a pitcher to make.
No question. Came off the mound in a hurry, not able to get there. Have to turn and throw.
For Michigan, Braden Campbell's picked up a bat. Represents the tying run in the bottom of the 4th with the score 3-1 Indiana. Hamilton from the stretch. Strike 1. Hamilton, big kid out there. Jumping on Campbell, 2 strikes. Jordan Arsenault would bat next unless there's another pinch hitter. Ditto for Tommy Harris, which follows Arsenault. Two balls, two strikes. Both championship games for the Midwest and Great Lakes region are set for Saturday. That's when we'll know our local representatives to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And from 0-2 to 3-2. This is a big pitch coming up for Hamilton. And it comes back with a strikeout. One out.
And payoff pitch pays off for Hamilton that time as he's just bulldogging his way into that strike zone. That was a hard fastball. Good look at him sitting back in the stance, squatting down, using those strong legs to push off the mound, and it's where his power comes from.
Pitch hitters Will Flom. Man aboard, one out. Down the first base line. Unassisted, need to get a tag. That ball goes into left field. Here comes the runner to third. Bang, bang at third base. Out. Indiana getting an unconventional double play, but it ends the inning. And Michigan winds up running itself out of the inning. At the end of 4, it remains Indiana 3 and Michigan 1. And let's take another look at the play at third base. Let's recap the game. Indiana got the jump early, 2 runs in the 3rd inning. And the biggest play was the slide there by Gill, who came home to mount that combination. Randazzo came back on a homer to make it 2-1, and then Caleb Miller pinch hitting for Indiana with a blast over the right center field fence. We stand at 3-1 with 6 outs to go on either side. Indiana's batting lineup quite good, 1 through 3, 5 for 8, and 2 runs scored. The RBIs, however, have come for the rest of the team. That being Davis Krebs on a fielder's choice, and Miller on the pinch hit homer. Grant Borden to start the Indiana 5th against Jack Jones, who delivers his 70th pitch.
Well, really good production at the top side of it. If Indiana can get any help from that bottom half of this lineup during this game, they may be punching their ticket to play one more day here. At least one more day.
Count 2 balls and a strike. The winner of this game will position itself for a game on Thursday where a win gets them to the championship. So win tonight and you're 2 wins away from Williamsport. Count is 2-2.
Shh, don't tell these kids that. They got enough pressure on them for this one, right? You got Jason Taylor. He won't even think about tomorrow where he has to go to work or not. Never mind think about 2 days or 4 days down the road.
If you're just joining us, Jason Taylor, the manager of Indiana, is also a middle school principal. He went back home after the loss the other night to attend to his school duties. Here's the first out of the inning. And he's hoping to have that personal and rather pleasant problem after the game tonight as to what to do tomorrow. And if he does, that means his season is still very much alive. Davis Krebs 0 for 3 in the regional with a run batted in. Waves through the bunt, strike 1. Well, if anything, Jason will have a lot to talk about at school.
something tells me that his heart is saying, I need to be here. I need to be with this crew that I've been with since 9, 10, 11 years old, with a chance, but you say, for 2 more victories and to live a dream for a lot of these young kids.
Perhaps use one of your personal days, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'll venture to say he probably has a lot of support at the school to say, you know, you need to be there doing what you're doing.
And tomorrow, for whoever wins this game, it'll probably be some infield practice, maybe some hitting. As Krebs is out on strikes, much as was the case today for South Dakota, whom we bumped into between our games. 79 pitches now, 10 strikeouts for Jack Jones, whose day is just about done.
Breaking ball still as sharp as it was in the first inning, and the graphic we showed earlier about all the fine pitching we've seen throughout this regional tournament, well, you can add him to the list now.
Comes Dylan Johnson to the plate, number 4. 2 pinch hit.
And Jones is running up against it right now, 79 pitches. Somehow like to be able to get out of this inning and maybe get 1 out or 2 outs in the 6th possibly.
Michigan about set to turn the lineup over in the bottom of the 5th. They'll lead off with their 9th hitter, Tommy Harris, or a pinch hitter, and then back to the top, Drew Hill and Matthew Green. Count is 2 balls and a strike. Now 3-1.
Now that thought of pitching into the 6th is probably gone now. 85 pitches is the number once he reaches that.
They say Johnson bunted through that, so it's 3-2, and this will be Jack Jones' final pitch. Although, if it's fouled off, he'll continue. Instead, he gets a strikeout, inning over. Jones's day is done. And parts of it were pretty impressive. He struck out 11. But he allowed a homer to Caleb Miller. That looms big now. Indiana 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Before Chase Reinhardt steps to the plate from Michigan, we invite you to catch all the excitement of the Little League World Series, including scores, stats, highlights, and more. Visit LLBWS.org or follow along on social media with hashtag LLWS. Jim Barber and John Gregory, who grew up in the Dodgers organization, with you tonight and with you for 2 tomorrow as well. Chase Reinhardt, then back to the top of the order. Michigan starting to run out of time. A ball and a strike. Indiana lost its opener to Kentucky 1-0. Michigan beaten by Ohio 10-2. Count goes to 2-1. Chase has struggled. He's got a chance to come up big here for Michigan. 3 balls and a strike.
Not a whole lot of stress, seems like, for Chase at the plate.
And he reaches first base to start the Michigan 5th.
And a casual toss of the bat back there. So
no pressure.
Another day at the office.
Absolutely. Got him right where we want him. Drew Hill now represents Michigan's tying run. In the meantime, Reinhard will leave, and it'll be a pinch runner. That's Tommy Harris.
Chase is about as happy as anybody with that walk right there. Got a big hand coming off the field.
Strike called on Hill. Hill 0 for 4, and Matthew Green to follow 0 for 4 in the regional. These guys can turn it around. They might have a chance. One pitch toward third base, double play ball. And what a play at second base. That was in the dirt and scooped up. And I'll tell you what, if that doesn't happen, big potential inning. Good play by Davis Krebs.
Excellent play. Racing to get to the bag, and the coordination to be able to catch the short hop and keep your foot on the bag. Impressive play.
Matthew Green swings through the first pitch. Krebs doesn't make that play. It's possibly a big run or opportunity for a run for Michigan, because that ball was headed into the outfield.
No question, first and third they'd have here with no outs.
Now 2 strikes on Green. Joey Randazzo, who homered the last time up, would be next. Swung on, hit deep left field. That's got a chance. Gone. Game tied. Green's first hit of the tournament. I think Jason Hill needs more hands over there just to shake with his players. Look at this. Matthew Green had been stymied in this regional. And he launches one to left field, and we are tied at 3. What a dramatic change in this baseball game.
And what pure joy. Isn't that fun to watch? I love it. The emotion just coming out of these kids and their parents and friends in the stands. What a great atmosphere again. What is it with this Indiana team? Indiana, Kentucky, now Indiana, Michigan, and the fans and the excitement. This is a big stage for these little kids here at Indiana and Michigan tonight.
It's possible we're headed for our 4th conclusion in 4 games today in the final inning, because we're tied at 3. Two home runs for Michigan, 1 for Indiana. Here's Randazzo, who's already 2 for 3 in the regional with a double and a homer that he hit back in the 3rd. Think about Reinhardt's walk to start the inning. How excited he was. And that put Michigan in a game-tying potential situation, for which Green then delivers. Randazzo to center field, and that's deep. And that's going to be over the fence. Home run. Second home run in a game for Randazzo, and Michigan leads. And a stunned Indiana crowd and bench.
Said Randazzo's 100% of the time. Watch him fly around the bases. Once this ball gets out of the park and he knows it, he really turns on the jets and starts flying around. Couldn't wait to get to home plate and celebrate with his teammates.
Gavin Hamilton now has given up back-to-back jacks. And the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in his Michigan lineup have 2 home runs, 2 doubles tonight. A single and 4 runs batted in. This inning has just exploded on Indiana.
Amazing. I think Tommy Devine did everything he could out in center field. He did the right thing, got to the wall, looked like he had an opportunity to get it, but not. And it's not over yet. Joseph Wazinski, another guy that can do some damage here. So Indiana has to settle down here and try to pick up another out. Just 1 out so far in this inning.
Wisniewski is 4 for 4 in the regional and a couple of walks. Yet to be retired. Looking ahead now to what turns out to be a pivotal 6th for Indiana. Scheduled hitters Landon Teasing, Bishop Lutson, Brantley Whitlock. But now instead of insurance mode, we've got to fight from behind. More baseball tomorrow. Winners bracket, both Midwest and Great Lakes. We'll start a little later than usual. John wanted to get a little extra rest, so we got the first pitch time pushed back. It'll be 11 Eastern tomorrow, 10 Central. That one hit towards center field, but the ballpark will hold it. 1 out. Check that. 2 outs. And the first time that Wisniewski has been retired since arriving at Grand Park. Well, Indiana will not face the flamethrower Jack Jones in the final inning. That in itself might be a bit encouraging because of Jones' strikeout pitch.
That's a good reminder. We don't know what we're going to get right now.
Every game today has had some drama to it, which is contrasts rather interestingly with games past in the elimination round that can get out of line, out of hand. Every team has performed well.
The important thing for Michigan, when you look at this lineup sheet and you look down at the bottom where it says ineligible pitchers, you don't see any names there.
Yes.
Anybody can go for this Michigan team tonight.
Indiana now must try to avoid exiting the tournament at 0-2. Another 1-run game for New Albany. Well, if Indiana can rally and get to the top of its order, which has really been good, it will have an opportunity still to win this game. To right field, good play at second base. Krebs, inning over. Last chance for New Albany, now trailing in the game. Matthew Green with a man aboard, homer to tie it. And Joey Randazzo went yard for the second time for the lead.
It's a feeling like it's never gonna end. It's the reason keeps you coming back again, saying on, summer forever. Keep it going now, summer forever.
Which teams for the Great Lake and Midwest regions will have a chance to get to Williamsport? Join us tomorrow. We've got nothing but winners activity. All teams that be playing in our 2 games are unbeaten. Michigan trying to eliminate Indiana, get to Thursday. Matchup with Kentucky. Teasing now at first base. Check that Teasing set the lead off. Then Lutson and Miller. Landon Teasing is 0 for 4 in the regional, 0 for 2 tonight. And on the mound, one of the heroes for Michigan, Matthew Green. Harris now in right, Wisniewski from right to second. A very high pop-up headed to right field. Fair territory, 1 out.
Wisniewski moved from right field to second base, and the way he can play out there in right field, had no problem coming behind the first base bag to catch that.
Covered some ground here, didn't he, John?
Sure did. That's a tough catch. The ball starts to fade back toward the infield, a lot like a catcher. You got to be prepared for that, and he was. You think these guys are a little fired up right now? Matthew Green on the mound. I bet you he's going to throw 2, 3 miles, 4 miles an hour faster than he normally does after the home run he hit.
Yes, got a chance to close this game out. Indiana down to its last 2 outs. Dylan Toller. Toller line drive, 2 outs. Headed on a dime, and now Indiana is down to its last at bat, potentially. Boy, you look at the Indiana fans, particularly the young cheerleaders up front, and they're just, they don't want to watch.
They do not want to go home, and that's the second ball Toller's hit extremely hard. One back to the pitcher right there, line drive to shortstop.
Well, can Caleb Miller do it again for Indiana? He homered the last time up. Represents the tying run. Two outs in the 6th. Strike 1. Miller homered back in the 4th. Home run cut there, 0-2. Ball game, Michigan wins. And look at the celebration. And Indiana's season is over. What a comeback tonight, John.
Wow. You talk about 4 games today that are well played, close ball games, and we thought last night it didn't get any better. How about the finish of this thing tonight? And what a well played game on both sides. And Michigan comes out a 4-3 winner on this one. And Indiana, boy, some tough luck over just the 2 games that they had to play here today. But look at the sportsmanship on both of these sides. Congratulations again to Indiana on the success they've had at the 9, 10, and 11-year-old, and one step away from getting to that long-time dream of the Little League World Series, but nothing to be ashamed about there. Congratulations to Michigan. They move on and play another day.
They'll play Kentucky on Thursday as we update the Great Lakes. Tomorrow we'll see Ohio and Illinois. Kentucky now gets a matchup with Michigan on Thursday. And the seasons are over, as mentioned, for Indiana earlier today. Wausau, Wisconsin. Tomorrow we'll be busy. For the Great Lakes region, tomorrow at 2, Ohio and Illinois, they're both undefeated. Thursday at 5, it's an elimination game between Kentucky and this Michigan team. We'll also see you for a Midwest regional showdown tomorrow as well between unbeatens. Matthew Green tied it. Jory Randazzo won it. Michigan 4, Indiana 3. Well, John Gregory, Jim Barber, a pleasure to be with you tonight. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 Eastern, 10 Central, from Grand Park in Westfield, Indiana, for the Little League World Series Regional.